Here we go. It's almost time for the show, but I want to take a few seconds here to talk about vigilantes. If you are not, right there, man, if you are not a vigilante, why not? It's $5 a month. It is less than the cost of a cup of coffee, and there is so many benefits. The biggest benefit being you get to connect to like-minded individuals who think the same way that you think. And it's a powerful, powerful place to be. The Discord is where all of the interaction is going on. There is so much going on in there, it's hard to explain. And the only way to be a part of it is to get on the Patreon so that you can get access to the Discord channel. It is a good time. Go become a part. There's new stuff we're working on. Last week, we had a vigilante meetup in Louisiana at the Lift conference. It was a phenomenal time. And the vigilantes and I got to sit there and discuss, hey, how can we make these even better? How can we make these even better? And we did. We decided a way to give the Viceroy solid rules and ways to host the meeting, how to have the open with the toast and close with the creed, and what to do with the coins and the numbered coins and the challenges involved. It was a good time, man, to make it even better. They're doing stuff like working on building the V drive, putting together all this knowledge and files that they're building together. Currently, their project they're collecting blueprints and plans to work for the work of search, which is the supplement, the drill supplement for the book of search. It's going to be coming out soon. They're working on putting that together. It's just phenomenal what they got going on. Not to mention, you get swag discounts, access to the vigilante only shop, access to the after parties, and of course the vigilante meetups. It's amazing. If you're not a part, why not? I have to ask you that. If you're still only on the Facebook, man, get with the times, get on the Patreon so you can be in the Discord. Do it. Quit faffing about. Patreon.com/thevigilantes. Go join so you can get in the Discord. Right now, we're currently doing a V50. There's like 35 of us doing a V50 together. We're on day 2 today, and we got 48 days to go, but already it's challenging me, and the accountability is amazing. So if you want to find like-minded souls, patreon.com/thevigilantes. I'll see you on the Discord.
Introducing the affordable Standpipe prop, another innovative solution by Affordable Drill Towers. The affordable Standpipe prop is a realistic training prop that allows you to conduct real-world training in your classroom and flow water in your parking lot. Crafted with efficiency and affordability in mind, the affordable Standpipe prop is designed to meet the needs of engine company training. We took the fire suppression system of a 7-story building, compressed it into 4.5 feet, and mounted it horizontally on our proprietary cart. For durability, the manifold is constructed of 4-inch Schedule 40 galvanized pipe with 7 2.5-inch outlets. Enjoy effortless maneuverability from 4 heavy-duty casters, 2 that are fixed and 2 that swivel with double locking brakes makes wheeling this prop a breeze. Yet, the locking casters prevent movement when flowing water. The entire unit is sandblasted. An epoxy powder coat finish is applied, followed by a red top powder finish. 2 reinforced shelves allow for transport and storage of fire hose, appliances, and tools. The basic model includes a 2.5-inch Siamese fire department connection, 6 2.5-inch angle hose valves, a system pressure gauge, and a sprinkler head with a control valve and water motor gong. The 7th outlet comes capped. The affordable Standpipe prop is available with your choice of Fireground adjustable pressure reducing valves from Elkhart Brass, Zurn, and Giacomini. You can also add the Dixon PRD, a screw-on adjustable pressure restricting device, a 7th standard hose valve, an additional sprinkler head, or the optional speed swivel appliance that can be used on the FDC. We pressure test the affordable Standpipe prop to 300 PSI so that you can pump realistic Fireground pressures. If you need custom threads, a specific FDC, have any questions, or need a quote, just let us know. Elevate your training regimen with the affordable Standpipe prop. setting a new standard in fire department training excellence. Reach us at 84455 Towers or info@affordabledrilltowers.com.
Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance is weekly scrap number 295. My guest tonight is Cody Trestrail. He started his fire service career in 1995 at a small combination department in Washington State. He followed his dream, was blessed to work at the FDNY, where he was assigned to Ladder 119 in Brooklyn. Then he was transferred into Special Operations Command, where he was assigned to Squad 1, also in Brooklyn. He left the FDNY to put his family first and returned home, where he recently retired from the backstep of Portland Fire Engine 31 after 15 years. He's the founder of Brothers in Battle and the Firemanship Conference. He's been happily married for over 25 years to his incredible wife, Andrea, and they have 2 beautiful daughters, 2 great son-in-laws, an amazing grandson, and grandson number 2 is en route. My brother, Cody.
Come on!
Welcome back.
Woo!
Episode 295.
Ready to do this, brother.
Anything I missed? Anything you want to add to the intro?
No.
Just
beautiful. No. Does anybody ever come back after that when you ask that question?
Very rarely. Sometimes they tell a little story or something to flesh out something I mentioned, but no, very rarely. Very rarely.
Yeah.
No. Audience, man, the audience is hyped. There's a lot of people already in here. We have a very special also guest tonight, Kyle Romagus, in the house, checking in from FDIC. He is here. He's watching all of your comments. He is pulling the best questions. So get your questions in for Cody, for myself, for Rob, and for Sam. Just get your questions in, and it's going to be a good time. All right, let's get to it. I'm gonna do the beautiful sponsors, and so we can get right to scrapping.
Yeah.
Here we go. Join Snap Tight Hose at FDIC 2025 in Indianapolis. That's starts tomorrow. I mean, starts Monday, but we're all heading there. You can witness their American-made, top-tier hose solutions. Stop by their indoor booth where you can delve into their complete product range. You can have all of your questions answered by their professionals, and then head outside and make sure to visit their outdoor booth for live hose demonstrations. Don't just hear about it. Get an up-close look at how Snap Tight products perform under real-world conditions. At Snap Tight, they take pride in American craftsmanship and unmatched durability. Come see how Snap Tight is supporting those on the front lines to protect what matters most. Snap Tight hose, reliable, durable, ready when you are. Affordable Drill Towers, on a mission to bring you cost-effective and versatile training props, like the Affordable Bailout Prop, which allows you to practice window bailouts, ladder bailouts, and ladder high-point rescues. They also make the Affordable Standpipe Prop, which you can roll into the classroom and then roll it out into the parking lot and pump realistic flows and pressures. And of course, their mainstay is the Affordable Drill Tower, which comes in several configurations and standard with the Standpipe system. You can choose from 1 or 2 sets of stairs, integrate it into your existing Connex boxes for multi-story access, or freestanding on a slab. All models are NFPA 1402 compliant and gain you ISO credit. The only thing that you can't do on an Affordable Drill Tower is live fire training. Call Steve at 844-55-TOWER or drop an email to info@affordabledrilltowers.com. Firefighter safety and accountability starts with being able to quickly find and identify individual firefighters operating on the fireground. Identifier safety combines the best in photoluminescent materials for durable firefighter identification solutions that can glow for up to 20 hours, no switches, no batteries, which means you can rapidly identify firefighters by name, unit, or assignment, even under hot fire conditions. All specifically designed and tested for the rigors of the job. Be seen on scene. Identifiersafety.com. Last but not least, one of my favorite people on the planet, Insight Fire Training. Thermography certified fire service professionals. Insight Fire Training specializes in training individuals across the globe in the tactical use of thermal imaging cameras in emergency services. Insight Fire Training developed the world's first thermography-based collegiate firefighter certification and trains firefighters, manufacturers, and industrial professionals across the globe. And I love Andy. I mean, 100%, one of the best dudes on the planet.
One of the best.
So there you go. Sponsors are done, which means we get to scrap. Now I'm going to read some of these comments because there is so many rocker horns. The man, the myth, yes, live from FDIC is Kyle Romagus checking in. It's almost time. Let's go big. Checking in from Longview, Texas, Tacoma, Washington, Pennsburg, Pennsylvania, Duluth, Minnesota. We've got, there's too many names. There's too many people checking in. Thank you all for checking in. Get your questions in. And Cody, let's kick it off because if there's one thing you are, it is a busy man. It is a busy man. And let's just kick it off and start talking a little firemanship.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for the opportunity to be here, brother, and Sam. Thank you for the help. And looking forward to tonight and coming back and doing this. So for the sake of keeping on track and being respectful of everybody's times, I'd love to get right into it. So let's talk firemanship. I think last time I was on, and for the main scrap, it was pre-firemanship, and then we did a couple update firemanship
specials. Yeah, the firemanship. Yeah.
And then this. So I just kind of wanted to recap. Last July was first year bringing it back after a couple years off, and we brought it back to Aurora, Illinois. Beautiful Paramount Theater, which hopefully you guys, I'd love to hear the comments. If there's anybody in tonight in the scrap that came last year, 2024, comment in there and your thoughts on it or any questions to it or what you thought. But man, that was one of my biggest, not really fear, but I was nervous about the vibe, the feel, how it would, compare to the Crystal Ballroom,
the original,
what we had done in Portland. And I'll tell you what, man, I love the Paramount Theater. I love the vibe we pulled off last year. The staff there was great. The students were great. And the environment was it was special. It was different. And I would say that it was different than what it was in Portland, but man, it was special again. So I'm super proud of what everybody did to pull that off. And I truly believe Firemanship Conference is that conference that is for us and by us, period. We've forgone, which we did in the past, benefiting other nonprofits and groups and specialty groups and things and specific causes, which I think has its place. And I love it. I see it. We did it, for years. But I really wanted last year and moving forward, this focused for us, for our family, for the brotherhood, for our tribe, for firemanship to be the focus and, to put this training on for us, by us, and we are the beneficiaries of it, which ultimately then if we are the beneficiaries of it, it is affecting them, which it is for us, by us, for them, which I love. And I think we pulled it off, brother. We had over 1,000 registrants. You were there. So I'd love to get a little bit of take of your feedback because it was your first year coming to a firemanship event. And you pulled off your workshop was incredible. And you were there for the week and hanging out in the lobby and hanging out around. So you've been around, you travel, you get around. I know that. Give me your quick 2 cents, if you will.
I was not, the Crystal Ballroom in Portland and everything was before me. So I never got to experience that. I just got to hear all about the vibe and how awesome it was. So I have no frame of reference, but for me, firemanship up there in Aurora was, it was almost like a spiritual experience, if that makes sense. I don't want to be too hyperbolic, you know what I'm saying? But, and that was my own personal thing. I'll catch you up on everybody else. Cause they said, absolutely phenomenal experience. This comes from M. Makowski. Phenomenal experience. Looking forward to this year. It was the greatest experience I've had. The vibe was like no other. That comes from Steve Mouch. Jacob Osterhaus said, it was an amazing experience. So awesome. I'm going again this year. And then Kyle, of course, said the Crystal Ballroom is going to be very difficult to beat, but Aurora is very special in its own way. And I think that's what what I've heard from people who've experienced both. Okay. You know, the Paramount Theater was awesome from Rob Fisher, historic, beautifully constructed, different than the Crystal Ballroom, awesome in its own way. And Tailboard Misfits, John Velez checking in said, agreed. It was hard to put into words how awesome that week was. So Jason Caraview, Paramount was perfect. Firemanship was the absolute best. Lowell Austin, 100%. I feel like that is the overall vibe that everybody came away from it with. Was just this. It was just powerful, man. From the opening of everybody walking in, man, it just sets the stage for the whole week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it does. It does. And so I'm excited to be coming back again. The workshop, I was working on making a video just to hype the workshop because I want it to be, completely sold out and all registrants sold out for it. But I didn't get it done in time for tonight's show. So it'll be next show.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll probably be a couple shows down the road because of FDIC all next week.
FDIC all week. Yeah.
Awesome. But killer, man. I had one question for you. One question was about this week was, he said from Kyle Holmberg, he said, Cody, are you planning on doing raffles leading up to Firemanship Conference again?
Yeah. So great segue into this. And man, I appreciate hearing from everybody that feedback in that. Obviously, it's got a special place in our heart and a lot of passion and time from not just myself, but a lot of people. And, Jeff Bryant and Ashley Bryant and everybody. I think what's truly special about Firemanship is not just saying for us, by us, but all of the speakers, all of the instructors. It's nonprofit in the context of there is nobody receiving a dime, no speaker, no instructor, all the hot classes, like everything we are doing, all the money that we are trying to raise, all the money that we're putting into it, all of the time, the hours, the energy, the passion, the resources, the networking, everything goes into Firemanship and what that is and what our mission is of that and trying to provide the best training possible, with a them first mindset, which, obviously we talked about last podcast, what that is in them and that them first mindset through faith, family, and firemanship in that order of things. And man, it's a small army to do it. Everybody is doing it out of, their hearts and their passion for it to pull it off. And it's a huge undertaking. So I would say to segue into that question and that those are some of the things I would like to speak about with Firemanship this year real quick before we move into other things. And one is saying just complete transparency. I always say I'm an open book with everything, with our classes, my presentations that I do, PowerPoints, like I'm an open book. I share everything. And complete transparency with Firemanship is, man, we absolutely fucking crushed it last year. I love it. Like we had over 1,000 registrants. Lives were impacted. The fire ground was impacted, no doubt. Grabs were made, no doubt. Just clear across the board. And it was really special. And so I think this year, now that's always a challenge, is to try to copycat that, if you will, because it was so successful, but also try to bring some new elements to it and capture that. And so, yes, I will speak into this. This is probably the hardest conversation to have with everybody. They don't realize is the finances and transparency with where we're at financially with things and everything going on. And I'll tell you, we are struggling this year. Last year, things were also very are we going to be in the black? Are we going to be in the red? Are we going to pull this off? It took a tremendous amount of networking, all of our sponsorships, our vendors, our raffles that we ran, our live auction that we ran. It took every bit of that, the hearts of everybody willing to donate their time and speak to pull that event off, because it takes a tremendous amount of money to pull off the scale of an event like this. And so I'll just say this, I'm not aware, and this isn't out of pride or ego or anything like that, but everybody's bringing up FDIC this week. Everybody's on their way to FDIC this week. Outside of FDIC type environment and scale of that, there aren't too many conferences out there, if any at all, that are offering training at the capacity and level, something literally for everyone at the scale that Firemanship is offering. I mean, we have over 30 hands-on training classes and workshops. 30 hands-on training.
Crazy, bro.
It's like it tells me that almost, and we'll go through it if we can, we'll go through a lot of those classes because I would like to highlight them. Almost all of them sold out super quick, like usual. Some of them still have some spots. Some were open-ended based on the capacity that we have.
Sure.
But a lot of them did sell out. And that, I mean, we're talking about selling out of 30, 31, 32 hot classes in July.
Yeah.
That, I mean, talk about supply and demand. That tells you, one, the fire service, I think we are definitely trending towards winning, because when we realize that there is a need for hands-on training and workshops at that capacity at level in July, taking away from vacation time, summertime, family time, to come in and put this effort into Firemanship. Whoo, think about that. 30 plus classes, plus the lectures. So right now, numbers wise, I mean, we're at 860 some total registrants.
Nice.
You know, my hope is that, man, can we get 100 brothers and or 1,000 brothers and sisters from around the country to come to Aurora, Illinois this July? I hope so.
Right.
But think about that scale of winning that's happening. 1,000 brothers and sisters. I mean, we're almost there right now. You know, and with the lectures and that. So one, I would say the scale of what we're doing and winning is amazing. With that, though, it takes a tremendous amount of financial resources to pull all of that off. And that is even without anybody taking a dime home. So I would say, as we get into talking about things, I want to remind everybody that this is nonprofit in that context. We are who we are benefiting to do this. Yeah. And honestly, we need help. We are definitely short of where we were at last year, not registrant wise, but money wise of where we need to be, man. And
so do you need sponsors? Do you need vendors?
We need everything? All of it, brother. So we just, because and this is what's kind of hard. It's not like the typical business to be able to play out and see where we're at, because we have, over the years, it's been like that. Like, okay, our raffles do well, online raffles during the conference, our vendors, our sponsorships, our donors that come in and say, hey, I want to cover lunches for a day. Hey, can we help cover costs for materials for one of these hot classes? You know, those types of things. And they're always like kind of last minute leading up to it to see where we end up. And so what I would say right now is, to all of you that buy in and believe in what we're doing at Firemanship, we need you right now very much financially to show up in all of those ways. So to answer your question, yes, we are going to get online raffles going. Our goal is to have one going through here in the next couple of weeks, get one up and going, and have it by the end of April raffled off, and then May and June. So get 3 online raffles going on between now and the conference. We've got some amazing stuff coming from awesome brother Nico, who did our design stuff last year for Firemanship Conference. Nico's working on some design stuff for us to get a first wave of design swag going out there in online sales to everybody, so you don't have to be at the conference, but available. We got Zach Newton, my brother from San Antonio, does amazing work. He's working on a design for us as well. Nice. To get out there to put to the masses. And so we're going to look to open up swag and do a couple designs before the conference to release to everybody. And then have a design that's available at the conference and during the conference. So yes, those things are coming, and like right now. This week, we just announced our need for vendors and for raffle items. That's a huge part of our fundraising for Firemanship Conference is we need you. We want any and all of you that have anything to offer. We will raffle it. Go to the website. There's a spot, a LinkedIn to put in there and fill out a form of what you can do in any of our social media posts. Comment underneath it. We'll get in contact with you. But we are looking for online raffle items. We are looking for raffle items during the conference. And then we are looking for vendors still in vendor space and table space and opportunities to be there. You know, with around, we're hoping for about 1,000 firefighters from around the country at the Paramount Theater. So to sit in front of them for 3 days during the lecture series.
Nice.
So we are looking for all of that actively right now. We're also in the next week or two, hopefully, I would say this, I try to point you guys in the direction of our website, the firemanshipconference.com. We are actually trying to come up with a link that's easy to navigate from the site, that even if you can't come and you just want to support the cause and you want to make a donation towards this, kind of like a GoFundMe, like this is the GoFundMe of, you know, for us, by us, put into this link and it will directly go to these resources. Right now you can do that. You can go to the main registration page, click donor on into it, but we're going to try to make it a little bit more user intuitive and clean that up just a little bit, make it easier to spread that link around. So hopefully over the next couple of months leading into it, this could be a national level campaign of us to try to fundraise these efforts. And part of that, I'll just tell you, is our numbers and registrations are so high because I think we offer it at the pricing and the tuition assistance available to people that we are doing. You know, and that's what's setting it apart, is we all understand everybody is struggling right now.
No
you
doubt.
know, for a lot of people, you know, and so anything that we can do to make training available, really no excuses. We want you there, you know, whatever you can pay, whatever you can do. And yeah, it is a big time commitment, time away from work, time away from family. If you're not bringing your spouse, but hopefully you can, and or do, but it is a financial investment, if you will, that hopefully pays off, but it does take money and we need help. So I would just say that that's the end of plugging the money.
No, I got a question for you on this topic before we leave, before we put it to bed. Jake Bader, I'll just go with that. Jake Bader says, outside of financial donations, how can we help? Promote registration, seek vendor donations?
All of that. Yep.
Yes.
We need any to share. Yeah. We
share
know
it.
the power of social media. You know, it's powerful is to share it. We have our registration number. So the lecture series, the beauty about the Paramount Theater is it's pretty much open-ended. There isn't a cap like we used to do in Portland because the venue is so large here. So even if a lot of our hot classes are sold out, which they are, come to the 3-day lecture series. It's powerful. The socials, the networking, what is taking place. I mean, it's like a whole conference in itself, the first 3 days. And then there are hot class spots. There are a couple of hot class spots. You can look online and see that are available.
And there are workshop spots.
And I would say this, and your workshop, our workshops mainly, we call them workshops because they are kind of like classroom locate, and a lot of our locations and venues we can move around and adjust. We're kind of open-ended in them. So even if a hot class is full and or a workshop, we can fit you. Like we can open end, we can move based on the amount of registrations that come in to any of our workshops, which are amazing. You know, come for the week. There's so much to do and so much to gain from it. Hopefully the impact can truly be inspiring for not only a career on the fire side of things, but the networking, the family, the tribe, the firemanship, face side of it. Like, man, this year it was powerful. It was just powerful. I'll tell you, because our focus is faith, family, and firemanship, and it's not just a fire department training thing. This is getting into life side of things, man. And we've
And
really
hey,
tried to
I will say this. I'll say this. Like, if you have something to donate, put it in the chat. Commit to it in the chat. I'll shout it out on the scrap. So if you have a business or whatever, Fortified Leather already said, I got you on the leather, Cody. So I don't know exactly what that means, but he's got you on the leather. So Fortified Leather's already in. But
perfect. We
if you
need it.
do have stuff to
Anything,
send, put it in the scrap. I'll shout it out for sure. Okay.
man. Swag,
Yes.
barbecues, pizza, like anything, we will raffle it. Everything helps the cause. Everything.
We will. Yeah. Tailboard Misfits is sending a few swag packs already right there. Okay.
Awesome. Conference passes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so with that, Corley, I'd love
Yes.
to segue in. Like, sounds like work. I'd love to segue into, we need the financial support coming in the next couple months to finish this. But let's talk about a couple things, like some of the class. I mean, literally, dude. So we got the 3-day lecture series, and I would say this: bring your spouses. That's what's special to us. Faith, family is so important, and that is our spouses. And over the 3 lecture days, again, we got the Fire Wife Life group, Kathy and Tracy and them. They're doing 3 days of lectures that are mirroring our 3 days of lectures. That are just incredibly powerful. And then we all come together for the socials at night, in the evening. Powerful. So there's literally something to do for your spouses over the 3 lecture days. And then even on the 2 hot class workshop days at the end of the week, our hot spouse experience track, like, man, it was crazy successful last year. There's a place for your spouse to come participate with, to their comfort level, whatever they would like to do. And they got to put on day 1, they got to put on turnouts and force some doors if they want, and just hang out and stretch hose lines, and do some things. And they're hanging out, with each other. And then on day 2, they're doing a field trip, and they're hitting a couple of the hot class sites, and they're getting to see all the work that is being put in by their spouses, and they're getting to participate in some of that stuff on day 2. And just an incredible experience opportunity, I think, for them. So bring your spouses, please, that is a big part of what we're trying to do, man. That hierarchy, faith, family, and firemanship, for us, it's in that order for a reason. And to get our spouses, to become a part of this, because what we do is not just a job, if you will. And that's whether you're volunteering, you're part-time, you're blessed to do this to make a living. If we don't have our spouses a part of that, living the separate lives, man, we see what's happening, with our divorce rates and issues within the fire service. And we want to include those spouses as much as possible and bring them along. So, yeah, check that out. And Corley, stop me or
Go. You can
interrupt me anyway in here. But I just want to bring up some of the classes, because we're brought back a lot of our classes from last year that sold out, and we have some new stuff. So I'm just gonna run through them real quick, man. Brothers in Battle, we're doing our 2-day version of the Beyond the Pre-Connect class this year. Last year we did the 1-day version of it, and we've been dreaming up. And old son there, Kyle Romagus, in the background, has been a part of that. And our talk is like, it's crammed to do 1 day, but let's do 2 days, and let's see what we can get done in 2 days. And so this will be our first time, Brothers in Battle, running this 2-day class there. But tactical resilience training is coming back with their developing tactical resiliency class again, 24-hour class.
Yeah.
I mean, just powerful, crazy. We got Dennis Laguerre coming back with hydrants to nozzles. I say coming back. He wasn't there at Firemanship last year, but he's been at Firemanship many years when we were in Portland, a huge part of us, and obviously our fire service, what he's doing, and the impact he has made. We're excited to have him to Aurora. Brothers in Battle, we're doing a 2-day Refined by Fire class, our live fire class with forcible entry, our spouse beauty and the basics. I'm super excited to have these guys out. Stretch flow move guys out of Cali. BIB, we've done work with them the last couple of years in California, sharing the training grounds with those guys, and just solid human beings, great guys. And they've got a great class. Excited to have them out. Can Confidence is coming back. Enough said. Everybody knows that. Elevator Emergency, Mike Dragonotti again, best in the business when it comes to elevators for sure. Is back. Fire Behavior. And System to Streams. And we got Nick Dingus, who's a huge support. I mean, Firemanship has been able to do what it does in Aurora. A huge part of that is what Dingus Fire Company has been able to do to support us, plus his class and training, like amazing. Plus Elkhart doing the System to Streams. Like Elkhart has been with us every year for Firemanship. And I mean, it's Elkhart and Jerry and Stretch and those guys, Brian and Andy. Is like enough said, right? So really cool for us this year is Blue Collar Training Network. Those guys have been with us every year as well, even in Portland. And they usually have done a heavy impacts class for us with extrication stuff and rigging stuff. But they're going to switch gears this year and do a first do heavy rescue USAR type class.
Oh, nice, nice.
Which will be great. Forcible entry physics with Andrew Pristach and those guys. Man, huge supporter of the conference last year. We were able to auction off one of his door props.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive door prop. Yeah.
One of the best on the market for sure. And super excited to have him and his group come out and do a full workshop class going through for stuff and like meters and monitors on it, and getting down into the nitty gritty with it, which he loves to do, and that'll be great. Functional nuggets. I mean, Chief Thompson and Shannon Stone, two of our very best in the fire service. That's a joint workshop class, 4 hours. You're going to get them both. I mean, come on.
And the other part of this too, because if you listen to the names that Cody's shouting out about all this training, if you want to know what any of them are about, most of them have been on a scrap, from Pristach to Thompson to Stone to Rick George to Laguerre. I mean, so many of them have been on a scrap, so you can go see what they're about before you even take the class. But go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, and with saying that again, the for us by us, like to think about what you can do with the level of this conference. It literally is bringing the very best of the fire service, willing to give their passion and their love for this. So yeah, it's amazing who we have given. Grab Labs back, those guys, Grant. I mean, all of them, dude. Such a great class. If you can't truck, you can't RIT. Super excited. First time coming to Firemanship. Rob Ramirez,
baby. Man. Hey, he is one of my favorite instructors. I mean, I don't say that lightly. He's one of my absolute favorite instructors.
Really? I'm glad you say that because I love him too. I just, what's funny is like as much as we travel around and do stuff, I hadn't met Rob until this year in May when we went to Germany and taught in Germany with Stefan and at IFRT, and him and Timmy Gleason. Those guys were there doing stuff and met him for the first time, and we got to do stuff and spend time in Germany together. Man, he's my brother from another mother. I love him. I love him. So super excited to have them here. Lithium Battery Fires is back. Paul is coming back.
The shoe.
Yep. Great class. Machinery Rescue again. I mean, to me, they're the best in the business. Brass, Andrew Broussard, and that group really are the best of the best. Making RIT Fast Rescue Solution guys, Eric Allen and all those guys. Again, every year they've been a part of Firemanship. Seriously, just like as I'm reading through this list again, because I don't do is just read through the list. It's like, this is like
you're best. Impressing yourself. You're actually impressing yourself with what you put together.
Maximizing your extrication. So this is going to be new for us this year. Although he's not new to it. Chris Kessinger from Citizens First.
Oh yeah, Citizens First. Yeah,
dude, like they've supported us over the years like crazy, and even last year with stuff. And now this year they are doing their program extrication. Super excited to have them, but. Again, some of the best in the business and some of the best hearts. I love it. Maximizing Lead, Chief Riley. Again, I mean, enough said. Our Mayday class again. from the guys outside of Chicago. Just crazy good class, live fire mayday class, mid-rise mayhem, Jimmy Davis, Steve Robertson, Todd Edwards, Martin Brooks, Lamp. Like seriously, like
that's like 7 scraps you just named right there. They're some of my favorite people on the planet.
Like all-star team,
yes,
all-star team. It's the all-star team. Like and yeah. Tactical Thermo. So speaking of, one of your beginning of the show, one of your sponsors, Tactical Thermal Imaging. This is our first year getting Andy Starnes here. But he's been a supporter with donations of things and raffle things over the years with Firemanship. And I've had the privilege to spend time with him in Germany. I mean, over the last decade, teaching multiple times over there and around. And like you said, he literally is one of the best of the best. And I love him. I love his heart. And he's doing a dedicated workshop. Culture Forge. Come on.
Yes. In fact, who's that guy? Yeah. Who's that guy? No, and I want to say this is last year, the Red Roosters won both days because you get teams. Everybody gets a team and a mascot each day. And the Roosters won. So whoever comes to the Culture Forge, you have a legacy to live up to for year 2. We lose Cody? We lost Cody. Oh, checking. I'll see. I'll give him a chance to see if he can slap the mule that's running his internet up there.
Okay, yeah.
All right. He's back. He's back.
We're back.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I didn't have to fly solo. I was scared for a minute. Oh, okay, I'm flying solo. So, the Culture Forge, absolutely want people to sign up. It is I built a class that I always wanted to attend because Cody asked me to do an 8-hour workshop and I didn't have one. So I built it specifically for Firemanship. And last year was the first year I've done it. Since then, we've improved it. But last year, the Roosters won both days. And there are multiple mascots and there's multiple teams and it's a good time. So if you haven't signed up, you need to get into it. And I'm still talking and trying to think of what else to talk about. Let's go to send questions in the chat and I'll talk until we get Cody back. Or I will talk until we don't. Send questions specifically for me, and I won't even touch on firemanship. Yeah, Jordan Scott said it best. It'll be easier to count who won't be there, and that is true. Slipping down. What life lesson, not necessarily fire service related, do you feel we should be teaching our young recruits when they start? I love this question, Ben Jones. I'm going to field it while we're waiting on Cody. And on the life lessons, I think one thing we're doing is we are shooting ourselves in the foot with all of our talk, which is a real thing. Do not get me wrong. I'm not downplaying mental health and suicide and divorce and all the dark sides of the fire service job. But I think we're doing a disservice by talking about all that. And we almost wear it like a badge of honor. And don't get me wrong. It's a real problem that we need to address. But at the same time, I think it's better to focus on the positive sides of the job with our young recruits. And those other things we can touch on, but we don't need to be leading off with it, especially as people wonder why recruiting and retention is down. Part of the reason is the messages we're sending out there, and it's something we need to look at. Give me your thoughts in the chat, and we'll continue the discussion about it. Vigilante meetup, yeah, we'll have to absolutely plan. Last one was on the fence there. We're going to figure out who to put in the dunk tank on the Vigilante meetup because we need to have somebody in the dunk tank for sure. Is he back?
Cody, there?
All right.
You got me?
Kind of. We're going to act like we do.
All right.
Until we don't. Cool. Until we don't.
All right. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. Sorry about. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, the lineup is incredible. Again, go to the website. All the information is there. But we have room for you. Like it's not too late. And I keep saying the last couple of posts is like FOMO, right? Like it's real. You do not want to be missing out on Firemanship this July. We've got room for you. We'd love to have you. Come get some of it. Check it out. Shoot any questions. So with that, any questions you got?
Yeah, we got a ton. We got a ton coming at you. We got a ton of questions. So we'll move to other topics here. Stick around wants to know, with all the traveling you've done for training and conferences, what is the one thing you wish you had but have a hard time accessing when you travel? What's the thing you wish you could have?
A drone.
A drone.
Yeah. A drone.
Just for filming or just for perspective?
Yeah,
Or
just to capture all the badassery that's going on in the classes and put up video and come in. And so, man, maybe if there was somebody that was able to get around to classes and conferences and get drone footage, because I think video, like, coming into the future of what we're doing, I think online training, obviously, I don't want to get into that too heavy, right now, but I would say not online, but I love sitting a few months ago in the Pacific Northwest Fire Conference, and I listened to Chief Brush, my brother, and I listened to his class, and it was basically talking about utilizing technology today in training and moving your department forward and seeing the stuff that Midwest is doing. Like, it's incredible. And I think us as training, and I am a little bit of that dinosaur. Like, I'm awful with technology and doing that stuff, but being able to capture not just photos anymore, but little video clips. And on stage at Firemanship conference this last year, we had Andrew Pristach and we had Sam Hiddle up on stage, and us, and trying to live video feed and show the hand placement, the tool placement, the ads placement, the roll, so that when you're speaking, it's translating and they could see it. And you always assume like 30 students in the background, everybody has seen this or knows this, but now they get a chance to see that. And I think some of the video footage of some of that stuff that we're seeing now, like with drones and some of that, and embracing some of that is definitely going to be a way of the future and powerful. So yeah, man, I wish I had a drone packed with me.
Nice. Hey, we'll get someone with some drone experience to make it happen.
Yeah, we'll stick around.
We'll get it.
Actually, they will be at Firemanship this year with a drone.
Love it. We got Taylor Shepard. Cody, we all know Brothers in Battle is the greatest firefighter documentary. What is the second place finisher in your opinion?
Ooh, damn. In the Heat of the Blaze?
In the Heat of the Blaze. Yeah. I don't know if I know this one. So that's awesome.
Out of Chicago.
In the Heat of the Blaze.
Okay. Damn.
There you go. There you go.
You never know what you're going to get. All right. Wasn't prepared for that. Yeah.
Ben Jones wants
to
know.
Wait. Can we do something? Can we break, like, so last?
We can do whatever you want. It's the scrap. Right. We can do whatever we want.
That's right. Last time I brought out the Halligan, so I'll try to, I don't know, see how well this works out. But I got my Halligan. The OG Halligan is sitting down right there.
Right on.
Behind my Squad 1 helmet and gloves. Look at the blue gloves.
Heck yeah. Oh, there's a book of search there too. I like that.
31's helmet, right? We can talk about the old bite bar hanging on from the old FDNY days and that. But I would say, take a look at this. There's my box light from the days. But what's that VHS tape?
Brothers in Battle in the Heat of the Blaze. It's the double header.
Dude. That's it right there.
I love it, man. Now, do you have a VCR that you can play that in, or is that strictly for
yes
now? I love it.
Doesn't everybody?
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's what Kyle said. Kyle said, pulling from the VHS series, old son.
Come on.
There we go. Ben Jones coming at you. Okay. Cody, what life lesson, not necessarily fire service related, do you feel we should be teaching our young recruits when they start?
Teaching our young life lesson?
No soft tosses. They're just throwing curveballs at you.
No, I mean, that is a real big question. And I think we probably alluded to it a lot in the last scrap that I did, and I'm passionate about it. But I think it's educating our newest firefighters coming into our oath, what it means, and our why. And, I got asked a little while back, it's like, is it hard to keep speaking into the same thing? Like, how do you keep up the energy, if you will, or the drive, speaking into the same things? It's like, well, because I believe in it. And I still think there's a lot of work to be done. And I think speaking into our probies, our newest recruits, is understanding what that oath truly is and what it means behind it. It's not the ceremonial high five. They're not empty words. It means something. And there's a lot of life that comes with it. It's not just the 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old coming in and taking an oath for something. We have to educate them into what that means. And that is potentially giving your life, sacrificing your life, service, mission first. When a society is telling us that it's anything but that, when it is completely self-serving and it is all about me and us, to now have an institution, if you will, like our military, which our fire service is, come in and now teach, because we can't assume, and it's obvious that not everybody knows that, but that's just like the military. We have to teach and train that mindset into them. And I think those are some of the biggest life lessons is we have to really build into them what service is, what sacrifice is, and get away from that self-serving mindset. And then that bleeds into everything. When we bring the importance of bringing the families involved in that, when we have men and women that are willing to serve others and serve their families, and it's not just all this selfish stuff that bleeds into marriages, families, life. So I think we need to do a better job of that, of realizing that we have a place to play. I believe we are a trade, a calling. It's not just a job. And that usually, whether you're volunteer, part-time, or career, this becomes a part of you and your life and your family's lives. So I think our fire service needs to continue to do a better job of realizing that and finding the ways to ensure that we are teaching that to our newest firefighters and their family members coming into that, so that it is a life change as we move into life. Because very quickly you realize it, 21, 22, 23, 24, it's like, oh, it's not just going to jobs anymore, which I love, but we have families and life and these things. And a lot of what we do, that's the beauty of the fire service, with being a servant and a servant's heart, bleeds into all of those life things, which then compounds and bleeds into your family and community and all of those things, how you carry yourself. So, yeah.
That's why I love Cody. It's why I love Cody. And your answer was way better than my answer. I answered that question while you were getting back online.
No, what's your answer?
Mine was just talking about. No, it was not. You crushed it. I'll just leave it there. You can go back and watch it at a later date. The all 6 musts. Let's talk about some musts, because people have been asking already. Let's do some 6 musts.
Awesome.
6 musts for them.
Yeah. So I wanted to have the opportunity, because I think if I remember back to last time, we didn't even get a chance to get into it a little bit. And I'm passionate about it. And it's not just meant to be like a banner or a decal or some slogan thing. What is the 6 musts for them? And for me, this comes back to accountability. I think back, this is probably going back a good 10 to 15 years. And as I was starting to evaluate where I was at with things, I was on the job in Portland. I started to feel like I was getting some time on the job. I was seeing things, when we say like seeing things at a different speed, if you will, and recognizing what was going on around me and what others were doing and what myself was doing, I could also see myself kind of moving away from some of those things that we perceive to be too basic. Whatever, I've got 10, 15 years on the job now. I don't need to put work or time into these things. They're just a given. And if you don't already know, you're going to learn real quick that most of what we do, because it's a trade and it's physical and we're doing things, most of what we do, our skills are perishable, and you have to keep up on them. And I truly believe that we have to own those things ourselves. We have to lead ourselves before we can lead others. I can't go out there and lead brothers in battle I can't lead my family in anything that I do if I'm not holding myself accountable. And if I can't go out there and stretch the line, force a door, mask up, do all these things that I'm asking those around me on my shift, in my firehouse, you know, um, training around the country, which I'm blessed and privileged to do. If I can't do those things, like to me, that's a fucking problem,
Yeah.
right? I might, and I'm okay with now at this point in my career. Am I the fastest or the best? Or no, like those days are gone. Can I do it efficiently and effectively? Like, yes, I better be able to say yes, right?
Yes.
And as long as we do this job, and so I think when I think back to this, it started from accountability for me. And so I was breaking down the fire ground of things that I wanted to own skill wise. And this is also kind of correlates when I was having a tough time at Portland Fire with not having buy-in from a lot of people, struggling with training and drilling and doing things on my own and having to do the things that over the years I know many of your guests, many of everybody that's listening has gone through. Our BIB instructors get like engine zero and like, basic going out and masking up on your own. If I've got to flow and move water on my own, if I got to drill, do these things, I don't have buy-in from everybody else. And that's what it stemmed from is I was feeling like I had some time on the job. I'd left New York. I'd came to Portland. I've been to plenty of jobs, worked with incredible mentors and leaders. But now, how do I continue to be where I need to be to do the job, and then to be able to share the job? So I broke it down to these 6 things, man, and it is for me number one. Like in almost all of our hands-on classes, we start off every class with this as a group masking up and masking up with gloves on. Now, I know this is controversial around the fire service. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. Cool. You can be out on it. I don't care. You do you. The thing I tell all of our students in all of our classes is I don't care if you buy into everything that we're saying and doing this masking up with gloves on. We ask them to try, and we've seen a huge benefit. But ultimately, don't suck. Poorly. Don't suck.
Don't suck.
That's it. I don't care how you do it. Gloves off, whatever, between your knees, on the ground. If you have to splay everything off, your helmet's off, your gloves are off, you're on your knees and you're on the ground, and that's how you have to mask up, just don't suck. But you're going to know real quick if you are slowing us down, you're holding yourself back, and or if it is problematic because you're having to do that every time and not react.
Right.
So our number one thing, and one of my things, is masking up with gloves on. And because you don't need buy-in from everybody, you can go in, you can own those skills from the time they're in the academy until the time you're done riding the rig. You should own those skills and be able to mask up quickly and efficiently with gloves on. And I like to say this too. I love the movement of the fire service. Seeing this, most of it has been painted around time. And I'll tell you this goes back to my Proby days. It wasn't a time thing. It was actually an efficiency thing, being able to mask up with gloves on and not take yourself out of the game by taking your hands out of play. Like the thought of getting off of a rig without having gloves on was like, really? Like that would never happen. Why? Because you get off the rig, moving forward, a forward bias for work, and your gloves are on. So you don't cut a ligament in your thumb and in your hand, and you're taking hydrants, you're stretching lines, you're throwing ladders, you're forcing doors, you're doing these things, and you take your hands out of play. What good are you? And they're already on now. We've trained to the proficiency to be able to mask up quickly and efficiently. But now, in addition to that, it is quick and efficient if you train with it and practice it. Like there's guys out there now that are crushing it. Sub
insane.
10 seconds. It's ridiculous. So mask up quickly. That's number one always, and we do it in our classes. Make the force. I kind of view this as getting off the rig and moving forward towards the building, right? Of those things that we need to be able to do, and make the force, man. And that's just understanding your tools of the trade, design leverage, mechanical advantage of it, and being able to put them to work, because we've seen time and time again of doors owning us. You watch videos, you hear stories. I've seen them on my fire grounds, and man, time is our enemy. And so being able to use the tools of our trade and not rely on things like kicking in the door. If the answer is kicking in the door, to me, that's a problem. I like to say, use a tool, don't be a tool. Use a tool, don't be a tool. Right? Because I've kicked in doors. Can you kick? Yeah, you kick in doors and it works until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't.
And then what happens? And then you blew out your knee, an ankle. You stuck your foot through a lightweight hollow door, and now you're a monkey fucking a football with your foot stuck in the door, And it's like, all right, let our brothers and sisters in blue, let the neighbors, let Nick the pizza guy kick in doors. Bring your tools and know how to use them, and use them so that we can continue to work and not take yourself out of the game, right? So being able to force a door and know your area and your area's problems and challenges, with that. So I would say then I love Nexus, make the stretch, not excuses. It fascinates me how the American Fire Service, every fire department in the country has an engine and hose. And it's almost like the one thing that we should all be able to do pretty efficiently is stretch hose line. But wow, when we watch video, when we look at ourselves truthfully, and on our fire grounds and on our training grounds, it's another story, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can find it.
And a mentor and a friend of mine, Kevin Shea, retired from the FDNY, who will be at Firemanship conference this year.
Right on.
So something, but he talks about the engine company lives and dies by its stretches. I believe that, and I love that. My company, Engine 31 in Rockwood, that was kind of our motto as well, and I loved it. Like, we stretch lines daily, and it's you live and die by your stretches, and I think we've got to get out into our communities, and we got to stretch line. And so I would say this is like, get out and stretch, daily stretch, and just put line on the ground and deal with friction and stairs and trees and porches and car tires and balcony and all of that stuff, and put line on the ground, man. We live and die by the stretches, but that's a separate skill. And again, all of these skills, we don't have to do all together. We can break these down individually. And then within each individual skill, it's compounding the level of what we can do to train with them. But I do believe we need to get to a point where we're stretching lines. If you're on an engine company, your goal should be to stretch lines daily, period. And make the push, not excuses. That's next. Make the push. For me, that's terminology translated to, once the line is charged, how are we handling and moving and operating that hose line, and why? All right, can we hit and move? Why are we doing it? And when are we doing it? And flowing and moving, right?
And the
why
why
are we doing it? And
when?
How are we doing it? And when are we doing these things? And break them into separate skills, because the answer isn't, so one-sided that we're always flowing and moving and or hitting and moving and these times. So I think these, are it deserves its own attention and time to put into it. And then make the throw. To me, that's ladder, carries, and throws. And that can be putting up your aerial, putting up your bucket, and ground ladders, is throwing ladders, basically. And, if you're on a truck company, you should be throwing, doing the daily throws and be throwing ladders daily. And you should be out in your environment, out in the wild, throwing ladders up to buildings in your area, not just in the same concrete parking lot back of the firehouse or your training center where you got the divot in the asphalt. And I know I put my butt right there and it's 3 clicks to the window here.
Yeah, every time. Every time.
You know, but you need to be out in the wild and moving around and, you know, dealing with friction and stuff and figure out in that carry, break down your carries. You know, the carry doesn't have to transition to the throw like a high shoulder every single time. The American Fire Service loves a high shoulder carry. Why? Because it transitions into an easy raise and throw when I put it up. But the fire grounds don't always dictate that I'm able to do that when I'm dealing with fences and gates and cars and trees and bushes and this stuff. So can I, you know, go to a low shoulder or a suitcase? Can I mean, the fire service is a right-handed fire service. We know that. And we're used to carrying it off of our right shoulder and right side. But can you do a left-handed left shoulder carry? Can you move it? And why? When would you look to do that? Moving around the building, sizing up the building. We talked about in our hot classes. Like maybe if I'm looking around to go from Alpha to Bravo to Charlie, and we teach that we would prefer to have that ladder to the outside of your body so that I could ditch it if there is a victim presenting, baby drop scenario. It's not between me and the building. If I'm in a high shoulder, then it's on the outside. At night, it's not obscuring my vision. It's not between me and the building so that if I have to ditch the ladder, I'm not tripping over it. It's not between me and the building. It's to the outside while I have a second partner coming up. But do I take the time to change my carry from the rig to the front of the building and then set that up, size it up, and make a decision, which way am I going? And is that a different carry, right? Does it always have to be a same carry, same throw for everything? That to me is firemanship, why we're doing the things that we're doing, being a professional, purpose and intent behind everything that we're doing. Right?
I love it.
So,
I love it.
So making the throw. And I'll just say this, like, I mean, there's plenty of training groups out there, and we're one of them. If you can't do a one person, 24, 20 foot, 28 foot ladder carry and raise, if that has to be a 2-person carry raise for you guys, like, we can fucking do better. We have to do better as a fire service than that.
Boom. There you go.
So
there's too many timestamps, guys. Too many. Someone needs to tell me which one's their favorite so I can get it for the front. But go. Keep on going.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's making the throw. Is your ladder carries, your throws, and putting time into that, you know, and double ladder. And then making the grab, not excuses, my last one. And again, I mean, that all of these are open-ended, which is the beauty of it. But making the grab, what does that look like with your drags, your dirty drags? We start every single class we do almost, whether that's what our irons ready class to our first due class or beyond the pre-connect class, our VES beyond the door class. We do mask ups and we do drags. Everybody's doing drags. Why? Because our mindset is expect fire and expect victims. So at any given point, any rig, you're on the medic, you're on the truck, you're on the engine, we can be coming across victims. What are we doing with them? How are we removing them when we have them? And you have to have a plan, just like anything else. And if you have a plan, we can manipulate and move bodies pretty quickly and easily. And we should have a plan to default plan A, plan B, plan C. But you have to train on those. Get people out of their gear in the environments, in the firehouse, training grounds, stuff that's just, you know, dealing with victims. And a great side to do that is on the EMS world. That's the reality of what most of us are doing, is when we're having to drag somebody from between the toilet and the bathtub and get them out of the hallway and into the family room to work them, or between the bed and the wall and get them into a space where we can work them. Like, we got to drag and move victims and bodies. And that's what all of this is. So it's using those same skills, keep it simple, stupid, from what we do on a everyday basis to now translating to the fire ground, which is infrequent, high stress, in anger mode, Now I'm not having to change things up, right? I'm doing those same movements. So make the grab is that, plus all of the other search mindset and things that we go into along with being able to make the grab.
I
So
love it.
those 6 things, I think, if you, as an individual, number one, you own those things, you put in your work, your time to study, learn. The compounding factor of each and every one of those is never ending. And you start to piece them together. You're stretching a line, you're masking up at the door, you force the door, you do these things like, and you're doing multiple of these things in a row. Wow. I think this is how you win the fire ground. Like, and not only you individually now, but then your shift, your tour, your firehouse, your fire academy. And we've all seen now the time move away from online training, hazmat, EMS, policy, all of these things. But I'm telling you, man, if the bulk of your time, your agency's time, training academy, your shift, your firehouse, your battalion, if you are focusing on these 6 things, we're winning the fire ground, no doubt.
You're going to be rock stars on the fire ground. I mean,
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, brother.
Oh,
That's
dude,
it.
I love
That's
it.
the
I
6
absolutely
months.
love it. Let's go with this one, which is, what does VES beyond the door mean? And how do we do it?
Yeah. I love this. This is a big conversation to have, and I think this is the conversation right now, I believe, for the fire service of what we're doing and what we're not doing. And I hear and I see a lot of conversation happening right now evolved around, what do we call it? VES,
Window.
VEIS, window-based search, right? And I'll just say this: the gold standard should be 100% that this is just a window-based search. That's what we're looking to get. So VES beyond the door. This is the title of one of our hands-on classes that we've run, I've done stuff, had these conversations for over a decade. And I wanted to be able to just break it down. It's not just the context of doing the search and searching beyond the door, but it's really getting out of the checkbox, out of the box that has consumed the American Fire Service and our training with what VES is, when we do it, and why we do it. And it's having the conversations at our kitchen table, on our apparatus floors, organizationally, to ultimately say, what does that look like for us? And I'll tell you, the box that the American Fire Service has put VES into right now, it's failing them. You hear me?
Yeah. No.
I believe in my heart, it's failing them. And so I'm going to frame this with 2 main kind of stats, if you will, or points of thoughts to build the foundation of where I'm going with this. One is, we know we want to look at stats. We want to look at the studies. We want to look at science, and we want to use experience, right? Well, our stats right now, the best thing we have going for us statistically right now is the Firefighter Rescue Survey, right? And it's amazing to see where that is at. Well, the rescue survey is backing up what experience has always told us, but they're just putting a number to it. And now it is hard for some to realize that the majority of our victims are being rescued from bedrooms 24 hours out of the day.
Yeah.
Right? 24 hours out of the day. And it used to be forever, the stats said 21 hours out of the day. And I used to say, oh, for us, like, that shit don't fucking matter. We don't 21, 22 hours out of the day. No, 24 hours out of the day. And the size up things of, like, when we came in and you first came in, and that are still being taught, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Time of day, cars in the driveway. All, like, guess none of that shit matters. We're going to make it really simple for the firefighters today. I don't even have to think about all that. It's just all hours of the day, right? And the stats tell us 24 hours out of the day, bedrooms is where grabs are happening. And that comes into play because there are things like, I believe in a flanked approach. And we've often said things like main paths of egress and exit and all of these things. I don't want our conversations with search and them and window-based search and VES. It's not taking away from those things, but it's showing that we have to have an emphasis on a flanked approach. We have to be able to address bedrooms as a fire service, I would say faster than what we have been doing traditionally, and address main passive egress and access and egress, because those ways, doorways, hallways, pathways, get us to our stairways and those things, to position hose lines and things in place to find victims opportunistically along the way and facilitate the search in the residential setting, which everything is about, making the grab, is facilitating that search. And when we can do that with a flanked approach, I think we're winning. So when we know that bedrooms statistically 24 hours out of the day, now we take that. We take one of my other favorite conversation pieces is a stat from the USFA. And now this isn't emotion or opinion, but now I would love to get some of these answers here from some of the strappers in here. The USFA has told us in the last decade, basically, that fires as a whole are down 3.5% roughly, right? But in that same time period, civilian fire deaths are up 25%.
Yeah.
Fires are down, but civilian fire deaths are up 25%. So when I take that and the 24 hours a day bedrooms, it starts to frame our VES beyond the door. But before we continue to move into that, Corley, I would love to hear from the scrappers, what do you guys think could possibly be contributing to a 25% increase in civilian fire deaths in the last decade? I don't know how fast or how rapid fire you could come.
I don't know how much the delay is. I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see if who's going to rise to the challenge, who's going to answer the question.
What could be contributing to a 25% increase in civilian fire deaths in the last decade?
Cody, yeah, Sam said it. Cody is asking you a question. Get your answers in. Jim Ed Mills. Okay, we got a lot coming in now. Here it comes. Jim Ed Mills says the structures. Jared Drenick is saying safety culture. Kyle Romagus is saying 699 from January. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so he's giving me stats. Eddie J says Hifty, hitting it hard from the yard. Jay Collier says lack of experience. Kyle Holmberg is complacency. Dragon's Den says a shift to safety culture. Jeff Stone working from home. More remote jobs from Andrew Johnston. Dave McGee said lightweight construction and modern fire loads. Jordan Scott's coming in with work from home and light construction with high fuel loads. Safety first mindset instead of them first from Jake Bedor. Sorry for your name, Bedor. Forgive me. Ben Jones said safety culture. Complacency from dude, there's a ton. I'm falling behind.
Yeah.
Kaylee Rose said safety first was my thought. What do you think? What do you think of the answers?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, and you as a chief, like, what do you think? Are any of them off base?
No, I think they're hitting all of the high points. I mean, lightweight construction, higher, faster fuels for sure. The products of combustion, and then of course more people are at home throughout all hours of the day, especially since COVID over the last 5 years. It's unreal, the change in the demographics for who is in a residential structure.
Yeah,
it's all out the window. All the old data is out the window.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, brother. And so I agree with all of them and 100%. And so here's the deal. I don't pretend to believe or think that there's one silver bullet answer to all of this, if you will. But I think every one of those responses is correct. Today's fire ground has changed. Socioeconomics, building construction, the materials, non-compartmentalized. What kills, smoke or fire?
Yeah, smoke for sure.
Smoke. Is that new though? No, but what's new is it is nastier and deadlier today than ever before.
Nastier, deadlier, faster.
At volumes faster than ever before. Lithium batteries, like inside, like the smoke today is filling up spaces where you're saying work from home, the amount of people working from home. How many people are homeschooling? Not only homeschooling their kids, how many taking classes, online classes,
Online classes,
college, adults, all ages, socioeconomic. So all of these factors play into the fire ground today, if you will. Now, here's
and the BSI. The BSI seems safe, and if I get hurt, then I add to the problem, and et cetera, et cetera. So we've heard it. We've heard it.
Liability, me first, and that's easy for that's where like all of it. So I would say this: we're not the direct. Our actions or inactions are not the direct result of this 25% increase. Do we own a piece of that? The fire service? That's the truth, Bill. I think so. Do we own all of it? No. What we do own, I believe all of it, is the whole piece of the pie in the context of that's our problem as a fire service. What are we doing about it today? 25% increase in civilian fire deaths today. What are we doing about it? Period. And that's a large call for us to evaluate how we're doing business as a fire service. Maybe what we've been doing for the last 25, 50 years isn't working. Maybe because I'm, Moore, Oklahoma, Portland, FD, maybe there is a better way to do this. If we're truly here for them, and you've heard me speak into this before, and probably I think brought it up into the last scrap.
Yeah,
but
keep on preaching, brother.
But these things this is where we get in trouble with our own pride and our own ego as well, is when we're not evaluating with the lens of mission first and them first. Some of those traditions, some of that pride in we do this, we stretch this load, we do this, first dude does this, second dude does this, third dude does this. Well, we've got a 25% increase in Susie and Adam dying. Like real people. This is a real problem. Like, what are we doing about it? And so I want to bring in for reference, with this purposely, I wanted to share this. And in my presentations, I bring it up because I think it matters to challenge ourselves as a fire service. So I wasn't in the military. I got tremendous respect for our military members, and I was the first person in my family to break that tradition. But from the Marine Warfighting Manual, which you could go into, Google it, look in them, pull up the PDF, their warfighting document. On page 2, it brings up in the warfighting manual. Now, put in context our fire service and today's fire ground with this thought. That said, I believe warfighting can and should be improved. Military doctrine cannot be allowed to stagnate, especially in adaptive doctrine like maneuver warfare. Doctrine must continue to evolve based on growing experience, advancements in theory, and the changing face of war itself. So that's where I am at with this window-based search, VES beyond the door. And I asked the question, when shouldn't we be looking to VES today potentially? Because I look at everything we just talked about on the fire ground. To me, maybe what aren't we doing? And I think it's pretty clear that we aren't addressing bedrooms as fast as possible because we've had the fear mongering, the lack of training, it's dangerous, flow pass. We're not doing these things. But when I couple our firefighter rescue survey, 24 hours, I look at these stats in this conversation with 25% increase, look at today's fireground world. What are we doing in our, what aren't we doing? And I know the rescue survey still tells us only roughly 20% of the grabs are being made by VES, which tells me if the overwhelming majority are the bedrooms, what we're only getting 20-21% by VES, which has a high survivability yield at like over 60%, that it's just not being done that often. And I know from my fire grounds, traveling and teaching around the country, that is very much the case. So
now I want to be clear, because I want to dig in a little bit, because if like limited staffing is something everybody deals with in response times, and if you're the engine showing up, is it? I know this is such a it depends. It's such a it depends, but is
yeah.
it fire? Is it line to the fire, or is it initiate a window based search? And let's say there's no victim presenting. Okay, so I mean, if there's a victim presenting, but
I'm glad you brought this up, because this has been a huge, and I think you've, a handful of your guests have talked about this previously and probably had some of these conversations. So I'll just weigh in with my opinion in my time, and I did share in my classes. And so I think, like a lot of things we've seen over the years, the pendulum swing one way or the other. So ventilation is one. We've gone so anti-ventilation in my career, that we're trying to fight our way back to the firemanship side of things. Like, horizontal ventilation is great. Venting as I go, venting for life. Like, these things are great. Hydraulic ventilation is amazing. Vertical ventilation is amazing. Now it's just like, when and where do I do it? But it used to be just randomly break shit and take out all the glass you can.
Give it as much air as you can.
Come on. But now, no, the firemanship side of things is when and where do I do it?
Right on.
The answer is to not do it, to not do it, right? Or that's not the answer. So when it comes to this, I've seen the same thing take place, if you will, with the anti-ventilation. I think we need to get to a place where we're talking search culture, which the movement has been incredible. Them first mindset, like we're making all of these strides, but it's almost like you just read it on some of the social media threads and in conversations. And it's almost, instead of anti-ventilation, it's almost been them to the extreme. And now I'm hearing a lot of people talk about not stretching lines when they should be stretching lines, especially first due on an engine company. It's one thing if we pull up on a truck or that medic unit and we don't have water besides a can and do those things, which we cover in our classes. And that's a reality that you could pull up with an engine delayed, broke down ahead of the engine and do those things. But you pull up first due on an engine, I'm just going to say this. The amount of times in my career that I pulled up first due on an engine company, and that's with reports of people trapped and not any reports at all. The amount of times that we didn't stretch a hose line first due as an engine.
Right on.
So my family, my home tonight, my grandson, you pull up first due as an engine company, the building is on fire, their house is on fire, and you guys don't stretch a line, we're going to have fucking words. I'll just tell you that. It's going to be heated in the yard. It's going to be real heated. All right? And that's my opinion. And I think the line has to get stretched. You cannot not stretch a line as a first due engine company. We know that if that is delayed, you wait until, hey, the medic's right behind me. There's another rig 2 minutes behind me coming. Well, the stretch is delayed. Kinks, this, pump problems. Conditions change inside. Reports. I pull up reports. We talk about it all the time. So what do you want? You want your cake and you want to eat it too? Like, reports. Yeah, my kid is in there. My kid is in there. What happens when they're not in there? What happens when they're not in that room? When your spouse moved and they're not in that space and they move to another space and it's delayed. And because of clutter and debris, it takes longer to find them. I'm all about them. You know
Yes.
that. I'm all about them. But there's a lot that happens between the rig and the door and inside of the structure to find them and remove them. And you don't stretch a line as a first due engine. That's bad mojo. That's bad practice. Don't do it. Don't get in the habit. But it can look different. So with that, I just reference our brothers and sisters in blue because, I bring it up in a lot of my my classes. Like the expectation at a mass shooting, school shooting, is that one officer, regardless of specialty training, backups, reinforces, one officer engages, has a bias for action. That's the expectation, right? But us as a fire service, is it always going to be the nozzle, the backup, these positions? That's not necessarily a bread and butter fire. So I think the conversation needs to be, what does that look like? Could it be your driver, your chauffeur is pulling a line and stretching a line and charge it and himself, while your officer and backstep firefighter are making the move, or your two backstep are packed up already and making a move on reports, or somebody in a window with shit blowing over the top of them, and we're grabbing a ladder, putting it up to a fire escape or the balcony, and my driver or the officer is grabbing the line and charging it and flowing it over the top of us while we're picking them off of the fire escape. Like, it can look different. And that's the, like, being a professional is you can't just have one play call and we do this every single time, like all of us in these positions. Like, that's the starting point. But I think it can look different. A line's got to get stretched. And I'm going to give a shout out right now. Jacob Rodriguez, young fireman, volunteer fireman out of North Carolina. Volunteer, him and another brand new volunteer, just brand new, first fire, two of them. Jacob was driving the engine because he had more time. The brand new volunteer, never been to a fire before, is riding in the officer seat, but he's not an officer. He's riding in that seat. There's only two of them. They're responding. Multiple people tracked. Two of them. What do they do? To me, this is no excuses, right? They pull up, they talk about, they're talking en route. You can hear them talking. Stretch the line, do this. They stretch the line. They got heavy fire showing from the front door. Somebody, neighbors saying, hey, he's in this room also. So one guy stretches, the brand new guy stretches the line to the front door, starts knocking down fire. Jacob, who was driving, set the pump for him, moved around, took glass. Yep, that window, pulled pallets over to get up to the window, took glass, went into the window, into that bedroom, and made a grab. And you hear him on the radio, victim, 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 comes back. The chief, POV, just arrived on scene, came up to the window. He's handing the victim out. First victim's coming out the window. Brand new firefighters fighting, knocking down heavy fire through the front door, knocks down fire. They move in. They find the second victim. Two victims out. Two firefighters, volunteers. So to me, it's like no fucking excuses. Do we have to hold hands still? Like, if we still have to hold hands and hold boots, two and two, and all of these things together, then that we've got a 25% increase in civilian fire death. I don't know what to tell you. We've got to be able to look at how we can do things differently. And so yes, a line has to be stretched. First due.
Sorry,
But
I get excited when you get. Go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you. When you get passionate,
we also send members to make moves and make grabs. But we had a member, my company 31s, after I left, and none of this is we always are evaluating how we do business. Those guys made a decision last summer. Engine 31 B shift Gresham Fire made a decision. They had reports of somebody trapped inside ranch house. Medic was coming up behind them. They forgo stretching the line to move in for the grab right away. Well, kid wasn't in the room that they said. They came out of the hallway. It flashed. It was a delay getting the line in, a little bit of a delay. It flashed. Turns out mom was tweaking outside on drugs, kids in the hospital, and there wasn't even a kid there. And you know what? He just made it back to work this week. It's been almost a year. He was in the burn center and almost died. And man, I give him, like, they made a split-second decision to make the move and make the grab. But kid's not there. They move. There's a delay in stretching the line. I'll just say this: the times again that I would pull up first due on an engine and not stretch the line are this. All right. Next.
Hey, No, it's phenomenal, man. I love it when you get passionate and you speak. And we'll move to one of my favorite questions I love to ask, which is book or books that you think firefighters should be reading. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorite questions to ask.
I know. And I was somewhat prepared for this. So, because I knew this was going to come up. So, I got a couple of books listed here that I've been through in the last 6 months.
Okay.
Audiobooks. Right now, I'm listening to Imagine the God of Heaven by John Burke. Amazing book so far. I'm not even done with it. I'm listening to it while I'm rucking. It's been absolutely amazing. And he was on the Sean Ryan podcast as well. You can look him up, John Burke. But
John
he
Burke,
talks about near-death experiences and some of that stuff, and just imagining like powerful book so far.
Okay.
I also just finished The Rescuer from Jason Sautel, Oakland fireman who is off the job now, but almost took his own life, and was an incredible, powerful book that brought back a lot of senses and memories and times and stuff with being on the job, with that and some of the mental side of things with what we do. But The Rescuer, I would recommend. Another great book that I absolutely love that I think we could use more of right now, is Everybody Always by Bob Goff. And that's basically how to love like Jesus at all times, like in all situations, choosing love. And he's just got some incredible stories.
Everybody Always.
Everybody Always
Okay.
by Bob Goff. And then last one I would just say is Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. Powerful, man. Men's hearts, like, today I think finding that place and that sense of love, adventure, with the masculinity and living
under
with
attack.
purpose
Yeah,
and all of
absolutely.
that. I say Wild at Heart. So those are my books for you.
Dude, I love it. I don't think any of those have ever been brought up on the scrap either. So
Okay.
massive kudos. Massive kudos, my man.
Sweet.
Well
so those are all
prepared.
kind of the last 6-7 months or so I've listened to.
He's not just a pretty face. That's what I'm saying. I love it. Okay. Which gets me to one of it's been going on a while. You've got to do it before. It's the 5 questions for firefighters. You've never done this version of it, though. This is version 4.0.
Okay.
So, are you ready for the 5 questions for firefighters? I don't know if have we done them every time, or did we just do them on the main scrap? Did we do them every time? I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
Okay, here we go. There are no right or wrong answers, just your opinions. And then the points are passed out by me with the help of the audience. So, here we go. Number 1. You're the probie once more, and you have to cook the meal at the firehouse. What is your go-to meal?
So kind of a funny story, and I can't remember if I shared this or not, to be honest with you, but I've shared it with people, is one, when I was a probie in 119 in Brooklyn, my first meal, I decided to make chicken parm. A lot of Italians in New York do that. Like, where I went wrong was I paired chicken parm with mashed potatoes, and it still sounds like a delicious meal to me, but it turns out that chicken parm and mashed potatoes is not a thing. Maybe you want to do it with a pasta and a sauce or something else, salad. I still get messages and talk to guys from back then, from 119, that break my balls for doing chicken parm and mashed potatoes. But I also, when I got hired with Portland and was at training, and in our training station, we started cooking meals at 2s. My first meal I did there was chicken parm, which I will tell you this, in a time crunch, depending on the environment, which that environment was in training at Station 2 at the time, chicken parm was not the easiest or fastest meal to prep and prepare and do for double companies and trainers. But I love chicken parm, man. Can't go wrong with that. And I will just say this, I'll add, like, the reality of it is the most of my career, I didn't have to cook in the firehouse because I had amazing permanent cooks, Kevin Pratt, KP, Brian Harding, guys like that love to cook. So I only filled in and cooked every once in a while.
I love it. Hey, Sam gave you max points for the potatoes. He said he'll fight anyone who denies the mashed potatoes with the chicken parm. So you got Sam on your side.
All right. I'll take it.
But chicken parm, there you go. Out the gate with the max points, because I love chicken parm. I'm with you on that. Number 2, it's Jobtown. It's time. You are en route and responding. You got to think of the scene from Backdraft where he slaps that tape into that cassette deck. What song are you playing while en route?
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Because I want, this is, hopefully this translates.
I like the level of suspense here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't. Okay, wait. Wait for it. Wait for it.
All right. What is the name?
Dude, just go to YouTube, all of you scrappers tonight, type in old Russian trollololo, and you will love it. But we used to, at 31s, we play this all the time. We play it in the rig, rolling around, jobs, over the PA system, in the firehouse. Gotta love it, man.
I don't know. I don't know if they're feeling it. I don't know if anyone's feeling it, brother.
It will.
It may be something. It may be something you have to experience.
Yeah.
I've got a skull, the trollololol.
Yeah.
All right. There is a Spotify playlist out there with every song on there. I don't know if that's on Spotify, so we'll see if that
it makes it there.
We'll have to get it there. We'll have to get it there. Number 3, whose boots, past or present or future, would you like to spend 24 hours in?
Yeah, this was easy, no brainer, quick. My grandfather, Jake Farland, one of my best friends, my mentor, my inspiration for becoming a fireman, for wanting to be a senior man. He retired. He left the job, Vancouver Fire, senior man in the company, and absolutely loved it. He spanned 5 decades total with Vancouver Fire, the late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and retired in the early 80s.
Wow.
And so he was a tremendous inspiration and role model to me with playing baseball and sports and the fire service and preparing myself and training and preparation and loving the job and was there for me growing up. And man, if I could put 24 hours in his boots and some of the stories I heard, like some of the best stories I heard was actually at his memorial service, his funeral, of guys talking about
I can only imagine
some of the shit. And if it's like, man, like they have stories like he was so cold one night, he had his, pull-up boots, his rubber boots were sitting next to their old radiator, the heater, but they actually started to melt and the rubber was melting. So he slid the pole. They got a call that night and he was stuck on the pole with the rubber melted to the pole, sliding the pole and just, stuff like that. So I think if I could go back and get a glimpse of that, because I always try to, he's been an inspiration, not only in my career, but me as a man, as a father, what I'm doing. And now you would know as become a new grandfather, right? And with your grandson, having Arden now and grandson number 2 on the way, the impact that my grandfather made on me, I know the impacts that we have the ability to have. And I'm hoping to be every bit of a grandfather, that my grandfather was to me. So yeah,
dude, absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Max points, and everybody agreed. Number four, you are retired. You have to imagine that you're retired. You're sitting on the beach sipping Mai Tais, and you want to hear, what do you want to hear through the grapevine that the people you used to work with, you can pick wherever. How do you want to hear that they describe you to the new hires? When they talk about that old Cody guy, how do they describe you?
Yeah. Well, especially being that that's kind of fresh right now and, and ongoing right now, I'd say, just speaking from the heart, 100%, everything hinges on, first and foremost, yes, I want them to say, was he a good fireman? He was good. He was good at his job. He was a fucking good fireman. Like why else are you here? None of us want to be a shitty fireman. So
He didn't suck.
yeah, you didn't suck. But more importantly, when we say things like, leave it better than we found it, and did they make an impact? And I want to know, it feels good for me, especially the way that things ended for me, which was not in the time frame that I saw coming, the way that things ended with me in Portland Fire. It means the world to me to still hear and get messages and reports that your impact is still being felt, that you are missed, that we are doing these things. Thank you for the work that you put into this, even though it was a hard fight, But some of those things that we put our time and energy and passion into, all of us, like right now, like you're not gonna see, like we're planting seeds, but you might not see it come to fruit yet,
Yeah.
and you're getting ready to leave. So some of those things,
Yeah.
like you might not see that actually come to fruit yet, but now in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when you have people come up to you and say, thank you, made an impact that's truly lasting and has impact that, them individually, and the job, that to me is everything. So, I don't know. But yeah, I want to be obviously, known as being good at what I did, but also for loving the job, loving people, and leaving it better than I found it, for sure.
Dude, I love max points for legacy for 100%. 100%. Uh, Final question. Heavy fire and searchable space.
Yeah.
Would you rather be assigned to the nozzle or first in on the VES or the window-based search?
I feel like you got to change this up, man, because neither. Can
I don't
we celebrate the pump operator? Can I celebrate being a chauffeur and just wanting to be fucking sitting outside and watching everybody do work?
Is that your final answer?
No, fuck no. No, VES, of course, still the same. Like VES.
Okay, I didn't know. Hey, you never know. You like you said, you can change. We can change. We're like war fighting. We can adapt. So I have to check. I have to check.
And I just want to put the emphasis on it because obviously, like nozzle work, engine work, I just think, and not even necessarily just VES. Let's just say searching. To me, being a firefighter and searching a building, that's like the culmination of everything that we do. That's true firemanship, putting you to the test. That's the true test, is when we are moving down a hallway, we're paying attention to our size up, our exterior size up, our interior size up, building conditions, layout, all of that stuff, fire condition, reading smoke, isolation, door control, when to vent, when not, searching through clutter and debris, making those decisions, operating remotely of a line, not holding hands with another individual, or split searching. And I'm doing these things as an individual firefighter potentially at times. Like, to me, there is no greater test than that. So
easy max points. And you had me for a very brief second, as deadpan as you sold the pump operator. I was like, is he seriously going with pump operator right here? Just a split second.
All right.
Which officially makes it the 5 questions for firefighters version 4.0. Cody officially puts 295 scraps in the books. Cody Trestrail, thank you for spending your evening with us. If someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do so? To get information, find out about firemanship, book you for a class, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, man. Cell 718-208-9573. Text, call, email, Cody T at brothersandbattlellc.com. Our website, brothersandbattlellc.com. Firemanship conference, social media, all of that stuff. We're there. I'm an open book, man. Our cadre, our Brothers in Battle cadre, everybody's an open book. Anybody would love to help you with anything that you got, share any information, point you in a direction or a contact or a resource. But yeah, I love it, man. Reach out. I am busy. And also a lot of life going on with just family stuff, everything that we do. But I love it. Reach out anytime with anything.
What is a challenge that you want to extend to the scrappers? A challenge that you want them to try and complete before the next scrap.
Yeah. Two things. I got two things.
I love
One
it.
is, I think I did bring it up on the last one, but I say it in almost all of my classes, is you got to go watch Brothers in Battle on YouTube, the documentary Brothers in Battle, the namesake of our training group. It's incredible, life-changing for myself. But on top of that, just speaking into where things are at, and we know as a fire service, man, it's been a really rough week. We had the Humboldt Caps Memorial Service, down in Florida this week, and the impact that Bill Gusson has made and left on the fire service. And we talk about too frequently on the scrap
Yeah.
and everywhere else. Life is real, and a lot of us brothers and sisters are going through a lot of life while we're doing what we love to do, and battling demons and things and family and our organizations and stuff. And so I think we just need to continue to do a better job of truly being there for each other, tribe, and that. So my challenge to you would be to actually reach out to somebody in the next week. Pick up the phone and actually call somebody, not just your best friend or your sister or your mom, but I'm talking somebody that it's like, man, they came into my mind a while back. How are they doing? What's going on? Or I've noticed they're struggling through something, and just reach out and make contact. Because I had a brother 6 months ago that my wife and I were both close friends with growing up, started in the fire service with Adam Weber, and started in the fire service with him. He left, joined the military, Marines, became Marine Recon, was one of the baddest motherfuckers to walk the face of the planet. But he battled a lot of demons as well. And Thanksgiving Day, he took his own life. And 6 months before that, he crossed my mind over the course of a couple of days, just came up in thought and in conversation with my wife, actually. And it's like, man, I haven't spoken to him in a while. I need to reach out and just check in and see how things are going. What's going on with life, right? Not necessarily anything dramatic, but just like, hey, where are you at?
Yeah.
Well, I never did. And not to say that that would have changed anything, but I'll tell you what, I wish I would have made that phone call 6 months ago and just been like, hey, man, how you doing? Cool. Appreciate you. Love you. What you doing? What do you got going on in life? And so I would say reach out to somebody this week that maybe necessarily is not on your radar, but has come across your radar. And just reach out.
Boom. I mean, it's hard to even, how do you segue? But no, thank you. Yeah, that's powerful. The next question I have for you is, who should be on the scrap? You have a huge network. I'm proud of my network, but who should be on the scrap, especially someone who hasn't been on the scrap or someone I don't know. Another thing I want is Matt Doney, who I've been trying to get on the scrap for like 2 years. He wrote his articles in the Book of Search are amazing. Like, he did an unbelievably good job. So tell him he needs to be on the scrap.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just going to say, because I knew this question was coming, so I was going to naturally bring up a couple of our guys. Okay. So Matt Doney, I think 100% get him on. I mean, all of our guys are so incredible.
So good. They all need to be.
But, John Kwan, I think, is incredible.
He wrote another amazing article.
Is doing things out there. Because not everybody wants to be out there on a platform like this as well, and teach it. So, I've kind of talked about that. We've got guys that teach with us that nobody really knows. They're not on the socials. They're not putting themselves out there all the time, but great guys. Another guy that's starting to do that I would just say is he's going to be speaking at Firemanship Conference this year. He just spoke at Chemeketa, and then he spoke at Pacific Northwest. But it's Anthony Braxton. Brax is a Portland fireman, and I've brought him up many times over the years of being the consummate professional in our trade. He's been teaching with us pretty much from the beginning of Brothers in Battle. But he was one of those guys with Chris Fukai, I would put on that list, and Jason Stensgaard. So at the top of your list, if they will speak, because they're not out there all the time. Right. But Anthony Braxton, he's written a handful of blogs. Ads Deep is his blog. And so a couple of people might have heard from him in that, but he teaches in a lot of our hands-on stuff. Just, man, he's got so much to give. I've learned so much from him. Chris Fukai, one of our senior guys at Portland Fire, just gives a ton that I've learned a lot from. And Jason Stensgaard, the dude, that guy is like, talk about like the quiet professional that, man, who do you want coming to your house, Corley, and your grandson and that? Like, to me, like, you put Stens, Brax, Fukai on that list, like, yeah, absolutely. So I can help with those contacts. I don't even know if they would be willing to come on and do something like this, but I think those are the types of voices that need to be heard.
I love it. That's why I ask. Because your network is vast. And so thank you, Cody. Housekeeping. Here we go. Go to patreon.com. The Vigilantes, become a vigilante, because it's what all the cool kids do. The Vigilantes are amazing. Just today in the Discord's blowing up. It's really a great place to connect and find like-minded souls. The Discord is up and running and very active. Just today, somebody posted this is an outline of a class I'm working on. Can you give me feedback? And it was phenomenal. He's got instant feedback from some plugged in firefighters. It's a lot of fun. If you're looking for a place to connect with like-minded souls, become a vigilante. One of the cool parts about being a vigilante is you get to go to the after party, which Cody is invited to so he can get roasted. So, we will be there and we will roast if Cody is willing to come. Sam has already posted the link. Yeah, I forgot to mention it beforehand, but I didn't want to speak for you. Coming up next week after FDIC, it is Benjamin Martin. And that is always an amazing conversation. Dr. Benjamin Martin, followed by the one and only Anthony Avillo, who's coming on to talk about his new edition of his book. So you do not want to miss what we got going on. Enough for me. Cody, you absolutely crushed it tonight. Thank you for sharing your passion. Thank you for sharing firemanship. Thank you for building it. Thank you for the classes. Thank you for
thank you, bro.
Marshall Boyd did it with the praying hand. Said thanks, Cody, and that really is. It's a grateful for. I think people said I would listen to Cody read the phone book, and I'm serious. It's a lot of fun to listen to you talk, especially when you get that passion going. Sam said I lied. He hasn't posted the link yet. He shared it with me. Okay, so when he shares it with me, I thought he posted it to everybody. Okay, he will share it. Audience, thank you for tuning in and listening and asking unbelievably good questions. I love you. I say it every week. The scrap without you would just be me and Cody talking, which, don't get me wrong, I would do it for hours. But with you guys here, you guys make it magical. And I thank you for giving up your evening once a week to come in here and make the scrap what it is. I love you all. Remember, mutts don't scrap. I hope the tones stay silent unless it is burning. Everybody, stay safe out there.